The Minnesota Landscape Arboretum has an important mission in connecting people with plants. In the Symposia Youth Voices, we want to hear from youth directly about what they've learned from garden-based programs. In addition to learning directly from the youth about the impact of garden-based programs, we also want to know how can we more effectively teach youth. And rather than just asking adults about this, we've gone directly to the youth to get their input of what we should do in future programs that we offer to youth.
Bring a group of young people together and you'll get a lot of ideas. This group had one goal: to create something that had never happened before. A gathering of different people and programs from all around the country, all dedicated to youth gardening. Along the way, they would always keep in mind the impact that youth gardening had on their own lives. It would be called the Youth Voices Conference. They would plan it, they would run it, and we would all learn from it. From an idea and modest resources, the Youth Voices Conference gained momentum.
I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to hearing, especially from the youth, because that's really what the day is about.
And for the youth planning team, some valuable lessons came along the way, whether in the garden or in the conference room.
I've learned that I'm capable of a lot more than I thought I was.
I guess how much work actually that goes into it. You never really know what all or how much planning you have to do until it's like crunch time.
After a few short months of planning, conference weekend arrived. There were last-minute preparations, materials to organize, and attendees arriving from all over the country.
Okay, well, I'm Amber Colbert, and I'm from the Green Corps program here today representing us. Also, it's Courtney.
I'm Courtney McCray, and representing the Green Corps program with the Botanical Gardens, and we're from Cleveland, Ohio.
My name is Yolanda Vega. I'm from Jersey, but I've worked at Wave Hill for 2 summers.
My name is Karen Beeman, and I've been with the Minnesota Landscape Arboretum since about 2000.
Educated, community organizers, and those who were simply interested in sharing their enthusiasm about gardening were in attendance.
My name is Kali Grady. I'm with the Minnesota Department of Agriculture as my daytime job working on pesticide programs. But I'm here today because I volunteer with a lot of community organizations, and we're trying to get youth involved in our programs.
I'm Diana Adamson, and I work for the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Twin Cities. So I run a summer camp program, and so I'm hoping to do something to connect our kids from the inner city into what they can learn about gardening.
I'm here to listen and learn, and I want to hear what the youth are concerned about and what kinds of things we might focus on in our grant programs.
I'm in the Social and Environmental Justice Committee in AmeriCorps, and I'm trying to kind of get ideas of things that we could do with the communities and potentially start an after-school program at my school.
One of the things that we've been talking about for years is the fact that we need the youth voice to come through, the youth voice to lead us, yet we've always struggled to find the format for that to happen. And here is the perfect format where the youth have planned the discussion, found the key people who could teach us, and shared the inspiration and the learning.
The exchange of ideas started to flow before the conference even started.
From there, I got my first job when I was like 12, and I just kept coming back. That was really it.
So they don't feel like they have to go all the way to our Shaker Square Market. Like they can come, they can walk.
After the introductions, it was time to hear from the young people who would lead the conference.
I'm so excited that we get to have youth from all around the country come share their experiences today.
Life in the garden. As a 12-year-old young man, I'll be the first one to tell you that gardening was not my thing. It was for girls, not for a big tough guy like me. Flowers and weeding, no I couldn't, I wouldn't dare. Offer me a job? Just kidding. Gardening, I'll be there.
From poetry to video documentaries to live demonstrations, the young people used all of their creativity to describe their experiences in the garden.
I'm Vance Dixon with the Youth Conference Planning Team, and I would like to take you on the journey and tell you my history on working at a youth program for the Arboretum.
The youth presentations range from sharing recipes to sharing experiences. They reached out to the audience and reached out to each other.
And me and Courtney are from Cleveland, Ohio, and we're here today representing the Green Corps program that is founded by the Cleveland Botanical Gardens.
Dear Michelle, my name is Ebony Turner, and I work with the University of Minnesota.
And even though she wasn't in attendance, one invited speaker already inspired everyone with her enthusiasm for gardening.
But we did receive the postcard from the White House saying, "Thank you for inviting the First Lady to attend your event."
The enthusiasm coming from the presenters was echoed by those in attendance. So much so, their feedback came in the form of ideas and thoughts that were consistently posted for all to see. As the day went on, the numbers grew.
So one thing that we often see when we do this kind of activity at a conference, typically dominated by adults and educators, organizers, is people are often very articulate about the challenges and barriers they face, to the degree that sometimes those stickies can dominate the whole wall. What's notable today is that the outcomes, the excitement, all of the things that people are observing, that young people are getting out of this experience, far dominate the wall. We have more stickies about those positives than any other. In fact, the challenges and barriers section is quite small.
The garden is the tool, and that all of these things, the communication skills and the leadership skills and the positive community involvement is a result of these gardening programs. And you know, sort of when we adults think about the impacts of garden programs, we think about really the direct relationship in the garden. But when we listen to the youth talk about their participation, and we see that reflected in the post-it note comments, we see some of the real impacts for their lives are in personal growth and development and the communication skills and leadership skills they're building and their community involvement, whether they ever garden again after they're done with the program.
Everyone had a chance to ask questions and comment about what they had heard, and to offer ideas on how to create better youth gardening programs. And as the day ended, we all took stock in what was observed and learned, and will use this information going forward, keeping in mind the very foundations of the mission.
I think the biggest thing, of course, is the whole meaning of it, and that's to give youth a voice. And that's the problem that I think we've struggled with, me being the youth staff supervisor for so many years, is that it's hard to take the youth's opinion. You know, we ask for it, but then we kind of push it to the side. And I think in the end, we've all came out with a better understanding of you get the youth voice first, and then you use that youth voice on down the line in your planning.
Everywhere we went, we planted a tree for some reason. We planted a tree. It was like why does every landscape job need a tree? That tree's gonna outlive me by a good couple hundred years.
I never knew garden stuff could taste that good. So I've always learned new skills and got to dwell in new areas, and I kind of played around, and that's what kind of helped me on my path to what I want to do as a graduate in college. Now I know I want to work with youth because of working in City Fresh.
I think if I would never started City Fresh, I probably would have had a whole different path in life.
It's so amazing. For years I've gone to this, and so often there's very few youth at the conference. And this was really designed by youth, led by youth, and really hearing youth voices. It was incredible to hear their voice, and not just to hear, but to really listen, and to think about ways in which we can integrate what they're teaching us in terms of programs, in terms of what they're needing for the future, how they think about the future, how we're transforming lives, and also taking care of our natural environment.
Now, how can we design another Youth Voices conference when the entire goal in the first place is to gather youth together from different parts of the country, encourage them to share information about their respective garden programs, learn from each other, take that learning back to their home city, and talk to their leaders about things they'd like to see in their garden programs. If we can make that happen, that means we're building youth leaders. And if we're building youth leaders, we're really, really giving an opportunity to youth to excel and encouraging them to take their love of gardening, their interest in working with the earth, and using that and taking that interest and building upon it and becoming leaders themselves. If we can complete that circle and encourage youth leadership, I think we've really accomplished something.